Hi everybody, it's Julie Ebersol for Hutson.com. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be doing some Copic colored animals, and this is something that I've struggled with for a long time. I would start with darker colors and just not be happy with the end result. So I started studying what some of the other Copic artists have been doing when they color their animals, and I practiced until I nailed it and was really happy with what I was getting. I'm also going to be playing with one of my favorite United We Flourish stamp sets that's called Good Friends by My Favorite Things, exclusively for Hutson.com. And I've taken all the critters in this set, some adorable dogs and cats, and I've already mounted them individually to acrylic blocks. And I'm going to make my base card an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, from some Neenah Desert Storm. I'm going to crease that fold line there with my Teflon bone folder. And I'm going to be making a random pattern, and I'm inking up with Versamark ink because I really love the way this ink has a subtle effect and it shows up on any color cardstock you want to use it on. And I started in kind of roughly the center, just kind of offset to the left in the center of my card. And this enabled me to build a random pattern with equal spacing. And I find that I get better results when I'm trying to do things randomly with images that are this size. If I start towards the center, just a little bit off of dead center and then start building outward. So here's my finished random background, and I'm going to set that aside to dry, and that Versamark is showing up beautifully against the Desert Storm cardstock. Next, I'm going to take a piece of 80-pound Neenah Solar White and drop that into my Mini Misty and grab one of the cute pups. This one has an eye patch, and I'm going to get him loaded onto the lid there. And I'm inking up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to be working with Copic markers, and this is a Copic friendly ink. Now, I didn't get as deep and rich a black impression as I wanted, so I'm just going to ink up a second time and stamp right over the top, which is a great thing you can do with the Misty stamp positioning tool. So now I'm going to take my markers, and I'm starting with the palest tan color that I have in my Copic marker bucket. And this one's called Bisque. I don't know the Copic markers by their numbers. I just know them by their names. And so I always refer to them by their names. But I'll have all that information listed down below in the description box. Now this color, I'm just tracing around the outer edges inside the lines of this image, and then I added a coating of color there to the eye patch. And then I'm coming in with sand, which is a little bit darker. It's kind of a light to a mid-tone brown. And then for a little bit more shading and depth, I'm going to bring in the Copic color Sienna, which is a nice rich brown. It's not super, super dark, but it's just rich and dark enough to give me that sensation that that eye patch is going to be dark brown. And then I'm going to blend those three colors together by taking my original Bisque marker and just flicking it across the top of those three colors and just blending them together nicely. Now at this point I decided the Bisque, because it does take a minute or two for the alcohol to evaporate, I decided the original application of the Bisque marker was not as dark as I would have liked. So I'm just going to go around and retrace right over the top with the exact same color I used originally. So instead of reaching for a darker marker, because I have a tendency to overdo it, I'm going to go subtle and lighter and build up whatever color I want to intensify. So I've added extra there to the tips of his ears and his nose and his tail. And then I wanted to give him rosy cheeks. I know dogs don't really have rosy cheeks, but this is a stamp, right? So I think they look cute with rosy cheeks. And then after using the blush marker, I went around and added just a little bit more sand to the tips of his ears and his nose and his paws and his tail. And then I think that's going to give me a little bit more character and depth to add that additional shading. And then once again, I'm going to grab my Bisque marker and blend that color out. Now, if I get a little bit too heavy-handed with that and carry the color out too far, I can just grab the colorless blender and sweep it back a little bit towards the image lines. And then I'm also going to diffuse that blush marker a little bit by going over the top of that with the colorless blender. And here you can see what the finished effect is. And I really, really love these end results. Instead of trying to fill that whole dog in with a flat color, I just like it much better when I trace the outline and then build color inward bit by bit from those outer edges. So I think it looks great, and I'm finally happy with the way I'm coloring my animals with Copic markers. So now I'm going to use the coordinating die set that comes with this Stampin' die set. and go ahead and cut out my puppy. And I'm going to start building my card, but I noticed that the Versamark ink had not completely dried there on the surface of my card front. So I'm going to grab my heat gun and speed heat set that. And the reason for that is when I go to apply tape runner or foam adhesive or glue dots or whatever to mount the rest of the pieces to my card front, if there is wet ink on the front of my card, those dry adhesives are not going to stick. So I need to make sure that surface is completely dry. Now I have gone ahead and die cut a circle from the Modern Graphics paper pack, and I love these abstract spots. They remind me of an animal print, and I thought they would look really cute on this particular card. I also custom generated the sentiment that I wanted. I wanted a little pun here, so I used my Dymo label maker to spell out "totally possum," which I thought was really cute for this little puppy. So now I'm going to add some foam mounting tape to the back of him and get him mounted onto the front of the card, and then it's finished. And I thought this turned out so cute. I loved the end results, and I actually made I practiced quite a bit until I finally figured out the formula of laying down the colors that really worked for me. And I made 4 more cards with this fun stamp set. And I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what my little animals look like using this particular Copic coloring strategy. I'm just super, super pleased and happy with how it turned out. And I hope it inspires you to give it a whirl if you have struggled like I have in the past using Copic markers to color your animals or any other object. With Copic markers. We have more still shots available at the Classroom blog. All the supplies are available at ellenhutson.com. I have those products listed down there in the video description as well as over in the Classroom. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, we hope you'll give it a thumbs up. You can see more of our papercraft videos by clicking on the photos below and by subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.